Okay, good morning, guys. Matt here with M Squared Builds. Welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to be working on the Jeep bumper some more. So what I've done so far this morning, I marked out where our holes are going to be cut for our actual mounts for this bumper, our frame mounts here. So what I did for that is basically I measured the distance between the spacing of the frame, which is about 46.25 inches. And then minus our total length, or sorry, width of the bumper for the first flat section of it, I guess, which is 54 inches, which gave me 7 3/4 of an inch. Divide that by 2 is 3 7/8 of an inch. So 3 7/8 of an inch puts me right about there for the outside edge. So for that, yeah, got this marked out. Gonna cut this out here. Hopefully that'll line up pretty well. As far as the elevation of this goes, that was quite a show. I basically used my hitch mount, which is going to end up about there, as a constant, and then kind of measured the distance from the top of the hitch to the bottom of the inside of the frame, which is 3/4 of an inch higher than the top of the hitch. And I want the hitch to be, this hitch hole is going to be about a 1/2 inch above the hitch. So for that, I just added those together. Gave me 1 1/4 inches, and then the total width of our frame, I guess, and then those bumper mounts is 4 inches, so their height, I suppose. But anyway, that's all marked out there, so I'm going to cut that out. Then I'll get those tacked in place there, and then I will see how the bumper actually sits on the vehicle. So, and then as far as where we left off the other day, I ended up just grinding this to straighten it out a little bit so that there wasn't such a silly lip there. I did that on both sides, so that actually turned out pretty well. So yeah, I'm not too mad about that. It works out all right. So anyway, yeah, let's get started. All right, guys, check it out. Got those holes cut, got these stuffed in there. They're just kind of resting there for now. That was an absolute nightmare to do. I don't have an actual, like a little, I don't know what those are even called, tiny little zip disc, those mini ones. So I basically just drilled a bunch of holes in between these lines and then smashed it with a hammer and hit it with a bastard file for a long time. Anyway, that took quite a while. So anyway, I'm going to get this lined up on the Jeep there so that we can actually got to get some measurements and figure out exactly how far out these are going to stick. I think I have it measured for them to stick out 3 inches, but I just want to double check that before I start welding anything in place there. So let's get that going. Okay guys, here's where we're at with the mounts. Decided it's too much of a pain in the ass to try to fit these in. I'd have to bevel the shit out of this this piece of steel here to get it to fit into here, and I just don't feel like doing that. So I've decided I'm going to end up bolting these on the side here. In order to accommodate that, what I've done is widen these holes a little bit. They're basically doubly as wide as what they were before, so that'll now sit on that side as opposed to over here. And basically all I'll do for that is just I'll fill that in with this here when I go to weld everything. So that'll be fairly easy. So what I'm going to be doing now is lining these guys up. I have all my measurements for how deep they're going to go onto the frame, and then how much they're going to stick out basically from the bumper. So I think that'll work out pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is start lining all that up, and then yeah, lining that up, and hopefully start welding that today would be good, because otherwise it's a bit of a wash today. So yeah, I'm gonna get after that right now. Okay, that's where we're at now. Got some bumper mounts, looking pretty solid. Heavy duty for sure. Now, as far as the length of those go, those are definitely getting trimmed down, which I'm not looking forward to cutting through 1 inch of Fargan steel, but we'll get it. Yeah, we'll get it for sure. Okay, it's on there super crooked, but that's the general idea. I think this is gonna look slick, so I gotta get it back off there and then we'll weld that stuff out. So that's the next step. Okay, we're fully welded out here, boys. Looking pretty slick. I don't think I'll even, like these welds turned out, oh, it's still hot. Those welds turned out well enough, they're good enough or whatever. I don't think I'll even grind those out. I think they'll just leave those and coat right over them. It's pretty well the same over here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but these, the welds turned out pretty well on this. So I'm thinking I'll leave those. Got him. Alright guys, we got our little 45s cut ready to go. So I am going to tack these into place here and then we'll get started on cutting some little triangles to fill that in. Alright guys, so I've started working away at grinding off all of my weld edges along here now. So these guys here are all cleaned up, ready to go. Looking pretty sharp. And then, yeah, started grinding along along here. Quite a bit left to do. This is very time consuming, not a very fun part of the project, but it's got to get done. So okay, I got my little plates here C-clamped onto the bumper brackets. Basically, I'm just going to mark those guys out. As far as holes go, I don't have any of the nuts. What I'm going to do for these is weld nuts on the inside of these, and then when I go to bolt through this, it'll feed through the frame. This will clamp on the other side, and I'll just use bolts and Loctite, and that'll hold her there. So anyway, I'm going to mark these guys out and then start drilling. I think I'll save or spare you guys this drilling process too, because it's gonna be a while. Okay guys, I got these holes are all drilled out on these two plates, and I have my 1/2" grade 8 nuts and bolts there all installed. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld out these nuts here to this plate so that they're on there solid. And that way I don't have to worry about trying to get a wrench into the inside of the frame there to actually tighten these up. So okay, that's what we're going for. So those will work for me, and I will paint over those eventually, but not quite yet. So what I'm going to do is I'll remove these bolts, install the nuts on here, and do the same thing. Okay guys, I got both of these fabbed up. They're looking pretty good. I have one fitted up here, and they are looking mint. The grade 8 1/2" bolts there ready to go. So everything's looking pretty good here. So next step basically for me is clean this bumper off and these two little brackets, and get them ready for paint. I picked up a whole bunch of paint there the other day. So we are ready to go. Well, not paint, I guess I got, it's bed liner. So I think that'll work pretty good for this. So bed liner and primer. So